Hi, my name's David Sanders. This is my webcam post for week 3. This week we were asked, how are differing American identities being put together in a sweatshop romance, a white heron, and a wife of his own? Think about race, class, ethnicity, and gender. So, in the white heron, I think it primarily focused around the gender identity. It focused around a young girl named Sylvia. And Sylvia grew up in the city. Nothing was going well for her, and what made it start with gender roles was the first part towards the beginning of the story when she was always having trouble with that mean red-faced boy. And so she kind of developed problems with boys. So when she first met the hunter, when he whistled, it terrified her. And so as the story developed, she was starting to fall in love with the hunter when they went hunting together, but she couldn't understand how he could kill the birds if he loved them so much. So then later on the story, she thinks to herself that if she climbed that big oak tree, that she could surely see the white heron, and sure enough, she did. It was down there in a pine tree. But so when she goes back, though, she couldn't bring herself to tell the hunter. So how I think that involves gender roles is she stuck to herself. At first, she was scared of boys, and she was starting to fall in love with the hunter, and she realized that she wouldn't let him manipulate her, and she didn't tell him where the heron was, despite her feelings or for the $10. The next story, A Wife of His Youth by Charles Waddell. I'd say it most definitely focused around race. It's kind of hard to get around that one. Um, he was what they called the dean of the society, and the society that I'm talking about is the Blue Vein Society, which was basically if you could see the veins in your arm, you could be in the Blue Vein Society, so no darker skinned people. He believed that socially and politically he must lighten the race by marrying Molly Dixon, which was a dark skinned woman in the story that he wanted to marry. Well, he's getting ready to throw a ball to ask her to marry him, and he's going to recite some poetry and try to impress her when the wife that he had when he was young, 25 years ago, shows up, and he wasn't sure what to tell her. So he told her that he didn't know where he was and he couldn't help her. And then at the ball, he asked the audience what they would do, and Molly said that she would talk to her if she was him. So he looks at the lady and says, "This is the wife of my youth." And what I kind of got off the story is he didn't really change much, which is why I said the wife of his youth, because he had become educated and changed his role in society, and he, although being a mulatto, seemed to look down on the dark race, and he needed to lighten them. So I believe he still wanted to marry Molly, but the story doesn't really give you much closure on that. The next story was A Sweatshop Romance by Abram Kahan. And the research I did, he was a Jewish man. I don't know if that affected the story anyway with Haman, with the Jewish stereotype that they're money savers. I don't really know where to go with that. But the story's most definitely about class or money identity. It kind of starts with Haman. He's just addicted to saving. He never jumps on anything. He's just real passive, and the only thing he cares about is squeezing every penny out of his paycheck. So as he's quiet, there's this girl, Bailey, I believe it's pronounced, and he's saving his money to give to her, or to be extravagant with her to impress her, but he never talks to her. He never shows any interest at all. So David, who is very less well off, comes in and practically overnight, the way the story made it seem, steals Bailey from him, I guess you could say. And so the story just, if I had to just take a guess at it as class, is that I guess money isn't everything, and that David went through and showed his personality and treated the woman right, and he got the girl. This was my webcam post for week 3. Thank you.